Perfect. Perfect work. Welcome to Sodo Creations, where we make your imagination a reality. Matt and I are at it again with another DIY tutorial. So in this one, we're tag teaming because I didn't have enough time to record every portion of it, but I would do some parts, he would finish off some parts. So hang in there with me as I walk you through how we designed this Barbie box. If you haven't seen my foam Barbie box, you should check that out. I'll link it down below because that one has all the dimensions. It's the exact same thing, and I'll tell you guys more about the story behind the foam Barbie box and why I decided to make a wooden one. In this area here, you can see how he's using the saw to get the corners there back and forth because I have already drawn it all out. Okay, I would have to explain that you're drywalling this thing. I didn't know this was a thing. Spackle?
Yeah.
But I didn't know that you could do that to get a smoother finish.
Well, a lot of people don't do it.
Yeah, but I mean that would help, especially with how rough the wood looks.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna sand. So I already had the template for the word Barbie on the bottom, so I used the same template on the bottom there to draw on the wood, and he just cut everything out and built the box around it. So my advice, like I said earlier, I'm not a fan of this spackle idea. Just get good smooth wood. Invest in a good smooth wood, not something that's too heavy, because once the box is put together it'll be heavy, but it'll save you from doing all this sand and dust situation happening here. So just buy better wood. So we are sanding everything down once we've applied the spackle. It's kind of like the wood filler, I guess, but I'll show you a close-up here of how I am using it to just fill in all the gaps. Now towards the end, we decide to stabilize the boxes a little bit more. Now I have to point out, these are not the same height boxes. I have one for a kid size and the taller one for an adult size, so I can rent both out for my business. I'm showing you a close-up here. You can kind of see the defects in the wood, but once I put the spackle on, it smooths it out, but it doesn't make it where it's smooth feeling, so you still have to sand everything down to get that smooth finish. So we're designing two Barbie boxes. I have an order for the bigger Barbie box, and I decided if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do both. This video was actually recorded last year and I've been holding on to it, not sure if I should post it or not, but I know a lot of you, some people actually emailed me about getting dimensions for my foam box. So with the foam box, I just rented it. The person never returned it because they destroyed it and just disappeared. So that's what happened with that one. It's a long story made short, but yep. This is what we have so far. Should have protected my hair. Didn't think about that. So at least I know what I look like with gray hair. Let's see, I'll show you what we're doing. Pretty much. But how long does the caulk take to dry?
This is the best. I got the best prices.
Which is how long? Oh, I forgot to wipe down the back. Okay, let me do that. So once it's all sanded down, we have to wipe off all that excess residue before we can paint. So that's more work again. Just buy better wood. And next we have to caulk all the corners so that we hide the imperfections in the seams. So once all this is sanded, it is smooth. Matt is here caulking, and then we'll start with our paint work here shortly. But it's good teamwork. So I have getting my paint brushes or my paint roller ready here so I can start priming. I always like priming. Sometimes Matt and I go through that discussion because he likes to just get, I guess, a decent paint, but I like priming because I feel like it just helps also fill in some of the blemishes. Prepping everything, he's also telling me he thinks he's gonna secure the bottom of the taller box because it was a little wobbly, so he wants to create a base for that one. So here I am now priming. We are gonna move location here soon, but we're here in this garage trying to get everything primed. You can see all the areas. It doesn't look like much now because the words are carved around, and you understand that towards the end. But if you do want me to design a template for you, let me know. Before I head and take care of these kids, I feel so guilty because I'm always gone. Well, there's our light. Back. We got everything primed. As you can see, it's already dark out. We'll let it dry so we can paint it all tomorrow. Hopefully we are done on time. So let me show you how it looks. Matt is taking pictures as well, so we record the process of this whole thing. Okay, so Matt helped me finish the Barbie boxes. He actually sent me a picture. He had already painted them. So we have the 6.5 foot box and the 5 foot box. Let me show you the front. We actually had to move it from where we built them to over here. So that's what they both look like. Love how they turned out. I do have a couple of touches to do for the painting, maybe a second coat, but I want to go ahead and just put the stickers on there, this and this. These two are the same dimensions, but here I went with a 9-inch round circle and this one a 10-inch round. I figured it would look better slightly bigger than the smaller one since it's a bigger box. We did put a base on this one because it wasn't as sturdy. You can see I can stand in there. It's a lot sturdier, and this one doesn't have the base. So I'm gonna show you how I work on the letters, and we'll get it on, put it aside because I need to start a different project, the marquee number 4. You're gonna see that in another video. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so you get notified. Of course, you have to click the notification button and you know when I post a new video. But let me show you how I already cut out the Barbie and the Mattel, and we'll go from there. Okay, it's gonna be a little hard for you to see, but here's the Mattel, and here is part of our Barbie word. So have that's the Barbie. That goes on one. Here's the other Mattel. That's the bigger. Can you see that? Yeah, that's the bigger one with its Barbie words. I think we can start with the smaller one and then do the big one. So I usually use just regular tape to transfer. I just make sure I get some of the lint from clothing or whatever I can get and use that to transfer the paper. I did get the vinyl that is removable. Initially, I was gonna use the permanent vinyl, but I made a mistake and double cut over my vinyl because I thought I was cutting the other Mattel piece and I cut over the Barbie piece and I didn't have enough. So that's just my backstory, and I figured I'll just use this one that's removable. It should stick pretty well. If it doesn't, I can always buy the other. I just don't have time to keep going back and forth with this because I have someone who needs the smaller box pretty soon. So the reason I was gonna go with the removable vinyl for the Mattel is in case someone wants to customize it with their name instead of switching out to the Mattel. So I'll show you how I transfer this over. So Alright, now I want to show you how I make the transfer tape with regular tape if you don't want to buy transfer tape. So I'm just going to estimate the length I need to transfer the Mattel, then I'm going to overlap my tape. That's what I'm saying right there. Just keep overlapping till I get the width I need. Once I get the width, I can peel everything off, but if I do this directly, it's not going to transfer because we need it to not stick completely to the letters. So I'm pulling some of the lint off what I'm wearing, so just taping it and pulling, and you can see where you see all the lint, and now we can easily transfer. So I'm going to do that with all the things I have, but first I need to work on the Barbie. So I had to cut sections off the Barbie so that it would fit on my vinyl. So now the tops of the bees are cut off. That's what I'm gonna try to align first. Once I get that all aligned, then I can use my transfer tape to transfer everything over. Then I'll show you guys how I move that onto the Barbie box, but have to be really careful to make sure everything aligns, because since it's cursive writing and they're all connected, if you mess up one point, it messes up your whole lettering, how you lay it flat, and it doesn't look nice. It doesn't look very presentable. So I'm taking my time here to lift up the paper. You'll see when I get to the other bee, it's a lot more clear on the camera. So right there is where you see I have to connect those two pieces, but I have that piece of paper towards the bottom, so I'm trying to align it so that it stays in place. Then I fold that paper underneath, and that's how I'm able to connect both pieces. This part of the transfer is tricky because I have to make sure that where we have the wood for the bees align nicely, otherwise it's not going to fall in place. So pretty much I carved around the Barbie letters to design the box itself. So I need to make sure that both bees are centered where they're supposed to go so that it doesn't look unaligned and it's nice and even. What I mean, like the carving that goes around the letters is even once it's put on. So once I know that both bees are aligned, then I can start peeling back and taping everything and gluing everything down. Off camera and show you guys the finished product because I think I'm gonna break my phone. It's so windy. Have you guys propped up on the box. So I'll be right back. gonna finish the rest off camera. I'll show you the final product. Thank you so much for being patient with me.